Hello, good day engineers. So we will be discussing sewage disposal systems in this video, no? So there are generally two classifications ng ano guys, ng sewage disposal systems natin, no? That is yung public wherein connected ka sa public sewer or private wherein you own an on-site sewage treatment system tulad ng septic tank. Okay, guys? So first, we have the community wastewater treatment and disposal systems. So ito yung public, no? So yung develop na ganito guys, hindi siya common sa Pilipinas. So ito, this is a network of pipes, pipes na malalaki, no, that carries wastewater coming from a community papunta sa mga wastewater treatment plants natin. So yung ano guys, yung klase ng piping system natin dito is classified dun sa dumadaan sa kanya. So we have here sanitary sewer. So ang dumadaan dito is yung wastewater coming from the DWB systems ng mga buildings. Yung stormwater drainage naman is tubig ulan, no? And pwede din combined wherein yung tubig ulan tsaka yung sanitary sewage natin nagkahalo. So merong mga lugar syempre sa ibang bansa guys na yung public sewers nila is combined. And actually problema yan guys, no? Kasi nga masyadong madaming volume ng wastewater yung pumupunta sa may treatment facilities, no? And hindi na nagiging efficient yung treatment. Ganito kasi, so yung mga tubig ulan natin, dapat natatapon lang yan sa mga bodies of water or any na pwede nating paglagyan. But in the case ng combined, so napupunta din sila sa treatment facilities, no? Along with the sewage, no? So meron namang mga solution diyan, pero the best talaga is yung total overhauling ng system. Wherein from combined, magiging separate sila, no? Magiging sanitary sewer tsaka stormwater drainage. So bale magko-construct sila ng dalawang bagong pipe, no? O kaya lang mahal 'yun. Okay, guys? So ito yung ano natin, yung separate na stormwater drainage tsaka sanitary sewer. So itong stormwater drainage natin nakakonekta sa mga catch basins natin sa mga curbs sa daan, okay? So if we do not have a public sewer, so ito yung gamit natin, no? The on-site sewage treatment or alternative systems. Or tinatawag din silang septic or private sewage disposal systems. So ito yung typical na gamit nating mga Pinoy, guys. Kasi nga walang developed na public sewer sa bansa. So sabi dito, kabilang daw yung building sewer dito, no? So yung building sewer, diniscuss natin yan sa previous chapter So that is the part of the DWV piping system na pakonekta na dun sa ano natin sa sewage disposal system, okay? So ito yung mga components ng OSST guys. We have the primary treatment component. So example nito is the septic tank. So sinasabi ko example kasi meron din naman tayong ibang mga uri ng primary treatment components that works like the septic tanks. Kaya lang ito yung pinakagamit because of its simplicity and practicality. So yung process na ito kasi madali lang. Yung paggawa madali lang din, tas mura pa, no? And since ito yung gamit natin in practice even before, meron na tayong mga develop na mga set of codes that provide clear design guidelines para dito sa septic tank, no? So regulated na din siya. Whereas yung iba kasi no na example ng primary treatment component natin, so hindi tayo familiar diyan and for practicality, we tend to shy away from using etong ibang mga primary treatment components, okay? So we also have disposal components. So ito yung wala sa atin sa Pinas no na supposedly dapat nandyan kasi this is installed or used for further treatment. So ito siya yung nasa figure no. So this is a drain field and isa lang to sa mga pwede nating gamitin no. So after kasi dumaan ng wastewater sa septic tank, so kailangan ilabas din natin yun eh. Okay guys. So common practice sa Pinas is binubutasan natin yung baba ng isang compartment ng septic tank no. Tapos may gravel bedding tayo doon. Tapos doon na lang mag-i-infiltrate pababa sa lupa yung treated wastewater. Pero mali yun in theory, no? So need dapat to. Pero syempre, minsan sa atin, no, limited yung lupa. So in practice, wala tayong mga disposal components. Okay, guys? So let me explain or walk you through the process ng isang OSST. Specifically yung gamit natin na septic tank system, no? So wastewater or sewage transported via the DWB system will end up sa ano natin sa septic tank or our primary treatment component. So the wastewater then goes through several processes, no? So this includes sedimentation, flotation, and anaerobic digestion. So in sedimentation, guys, the solids will settle sa baba ng septic tank natin and eventually magiging sludge siya. Okay? Then in flotation naman, yung magagaan na liquids natin, no, such as grease and oil, will float sa surface, no? Tapos nagiging scum sila. And sa anaerobic digestion naman, so kakainin ng anaerobic bacteria yung mga organic solids natin na nagsettle sa baba from sedimentation, no. So itong mga bacteria na to, namumuhay sila sa sa septic tank in the absence of oxygen. Kasi nga kinukulong natin no. So walang hangin na nakakapasok sa sa loob ng septic tank, okay? So after some time, guys, magiging sludge etong solids na to, okay? Gaya ng sabi ko kanina. Pag sinilip nyo yung yung septic tanks nyo, so ito yung black na makikita nyo doon, okay? And ang mapoproduce natin dito sa treatment natin is what we call the effluent. So ito yung partially treated wastewater na slightly clear na from solids and scum na gusto nating ilabas out of the septic tank. Tapos ipapasa natin yan doon sa may disposal component, okay? After nating maipasa yung effluent papunta sa may disposal component or the drain field. So dito naman matitreat further yung yung effluent natin. Since dadaan sa effluent sa lupa, no. So the soil will become a filter para malinisan ng maayos yung effluent that we want to drain into the ground. So nagiging clarified effluent na siya after this, okay? Let us now discuss septic tanks further. So ito yung description niyan. Basahin niyo na lang So na-discuss ko naman na to kanina, no. Na nakulong, and since kulong, walang oxygen sa loob, no. Therefore, nagkakaroon tayo ng anaerobic bacteria na nangangain dun sa waste natin sa loob. So, silipin natin yung yung loob ng isang septic tank. So ito siya, parang similar sa isang interceptor, no. So pag pumasok yung sewage natin, diyan sa may inlet, no. So nasa-separate yung sludge tsaka yung scum sa taas tsaka dun sa baba. So yung nasa gitna, ayun yung effluent natin. So yung effluent ayun yung tubig lang At ayan yung yung gusto nating i-drain sa ground. So ayan lang yung gusto nating palabasin out of the septic tank through the outlet. In here, guys, meron tayong mga baffles. So ayun yung nagko-control sa direction ng flow ng sewage in and out or through compartments. Sa gitna, ayan meron tayong wall separating the two compartments, okay? So yung septic tank, guys, minimum of 2 compartments tayo, no? So pwedeng mas madami yan. In the RNTCP, yung design for septic tanks is pang dalawa lang. So sa design procedure na i-discuss ko later on, dalawa lang yung compartments natin. Next, you have the code requirements for septic tanks. So ito, lang siya, illustrated, no? So importante lahat ng to, guys, no? Pero let me just elaborate on some of this. Hindi lahat Yung iba, aralin nyo na lang. So pwede kayong tumingin sa code, tapos tingin kayo dito sa mga figures na pinoprovide natin. So first, we have the volume of the compartments natin. So sabi dito, guys, yung inlet compartment daw natin shall not be less than 2/3 of the total septic tank capacity. While yung secondary compartment naman natin shall not be greater than 1/3 of the total septic tank capacity. Okay? So ito, yung 2/3 na to, minimum yan Tapos yung 1/3 of the total tank capacity naman na to, maximum yan. Okay? Ayun lang yung sinasabi ng code. So meron din tayong minimum volume na kailangang sundin for the compartments. So for the inlet, that should be 2 cubic meters. And for the secondary compartment, that should be 1 cubic meter. So hindi porket sinabi natin kanina na maximum yung 1/3 of the total tank capacity, no? Is pwede mo na siyang babaan ng babaan. You have to still make sure, no, na fina-follow mo yung 1 cubic meter na minimum. Okay, guys? Para naman sa sa dimensions ng compartment natin, for the lengths, yung inlet compartment natin shall have a minimum length of 1.5 meters. For the outlet naman, so nagkakaroon lang tayo ng minimum length dito if yung total tank capacity natin exceeds 6 cubic meters, and that will be 1.5 meters. Okay, guys? As for the width naman of the septic tank, minimum daw shall be 0.9 meters. Okay? So yung septic tank, guys, hindi natin siya gustong punuin ng tubig, no? When we design, we should design considering na meron tayong space sa loob that is not occupied by sewage. Okay? So yung liquid depth natin inside the tank shall be 0.6 meters to 1.8 meters lang. Okay? Ayun yung range natin. And yung part ng tangke, guys, na walang tubig, yung height niya should be 228.6 millimeters. So that is the height of the sidewall above the liquid depth. Okay? So kailangan din pala nating maglagay ng manhole, no? For access pagka pinalinis natin yan. So yung manhole natin, meron dapat siyang minimum dimensions na 508 millimeters. Meron din tayong provision dito regarding the manhole. So pag daw mas mahaba sa 3.7 yung length ng inlet compartment natin, dapat daw maglagay pa tayo ng isang manhole. Okay? No, so bali magiging dalawa yan pagka ganon. So eto naman, no. So this is a different figure, no. Pero same lang yung pinapakita nito. No, mas detail lang din siguro to. Tapos nakalagay din diyan yung ano, yung section sa code for your reference. Okay? Now let us proceed to septic tank sizing. And eto guys, naka-base lang siya sa may appendix B ng RMPCP. So procedural lang ulit, no? Susundan lang natin tong mga steps na nakalagay dito. Okay? So first step, we are to determine the occupancy type of the building. So aalamin mo kung residential ba siya or hindi. Kasi ayan yung basis natin sa gagamiting table. So pag residential daw, table B-2 yung gagamitin natin. Pero pag ibang occupancy type, table B-3. Okay? Then, magko-compare tayo later on, referring naman sa DFU natin. And titingin lang din tayo sa table B2 para dyan. Okay? So ito yung table B2 for residential. Then meron tayong column dito for the DFU value. Okay? For residential guys, meron tayong dalawang classification dito, no? Which is etong single family dwellings, tsaka etong multiple family dwellings. Pagka sinabi nating single family dwellings, eto yung mga bahay na pagmamay-ari at tinitirhan ng isang pamilya. Okay? Tapos pag multiple family dwellings naman, eto yung madaming units sa isang building na pwedeng i-occupy. So eto yung mga apartment units, condominium units, etc. etc. Okay? Then we also have here a column for the minimum septic tank capacity in gallons and in liters. And yung pag-determine natin dito is dependent lang sa values na meron tayo sa ibang columns. Okay? Explain ko later on yung paggamit nito. But for now, papakita lang natin siya. Papakita lang natin lahat ng tables muna. So ito yung continuation ng table B-2. Ito naman yung table B-3. So ito naman for other occupancy types, no? So dito nakalagay yung mga specific occupancy type ng structures. So ayan yung titignan mo para malaman mo kung paano mo kukunin yung ano, yung amount of sewage na pumapasok sa septic tank. Okay? Kasi paiba-iba yan for different occupancy types. 'Di ba? As you can see dito sa pangalawang column. So yung amount of sewage na papasok sa septic tank na makukuha mo will then be used to size the septic tank. Okay? So ito yung continuation ng table. Elaborate ko na lang tong mga to later on guys ha. Tignan nyo na lang muna. Okay? And ito na yung last. Next, let us proceed sa step 2, no? So from the occupancy type ng building, madedetermine natin, 'di ba, yung table na gagamitin. From these tables, we can now then proceed sa pagdetermine ng tank capacity. So we will be sizing guys based on the occupancy type. But again, no, kailangan natin yang i-compare dun sa makukuha nating size ng septic tank if naka-base tayo sa DFU from chapter 7, okay? So yung previous topic natin 'yon, no. Then whichever gives a larger minimum septic tank capacity, ayun yung i-consider natin for the design. Okay, guys? Now, elaborate natin yung ano, yung table B-2, no? Kung paano siya gamitin. So, etong table yung gagamitin mo for both residential occupancy and for sizing based on the drainage fixture units. So, first thing you have to do, once na alam mo na residential yung structure, is determine whether single family dwelling yan or multiple family dwelling units. So bahay ba yan? Apartment, condo, ganun. Okay guys? So let's say single family dwelling, no, yung structure. So the next thing na gagawin mo is i-determine mo kung ilan yung bedroom sa bahay. Okay? After nyan, you can then proceed sa pagkuha ng minimum septic tank capacity. So if yung bahay meron siyang 1 or 2 bedrooms, di ba nandito ka? Pointer tayo. Di ba nandito ka? Okay? So gagawin mo lang is susundan mo yung row niyan, yung row nito, hanggang sa mapunta ka sa column ng minimum septic tank capacity. Okay? And syempre, since SI unit tayo sa Pinas, guys, so liters yung titignan natin. So dito. So pag 1 or 2 bedrooms tayo, yung minimum capacity natin is 2,838 liters. Ayan. Pag 3, 3,785. O, ganun lang yun, no? Pag 4, 4,542 and so on. Okay? So, from this table, guys, hanggang 6 na bedroom lang. O, ayan. So, paano kung mansion yung bahay, di ba? Tapos sobrang daming bedrooms. So, in cases like this, no, titingin tayo sa continuation ng table na to later on. Kasi nakalagay dun yung capacity na idadagdag natin for each bedroom added in excess of 6. Okay? So, ayun lang, no, for single family dwellings or yung mga bahay. So, what if multiple dwelling units naman? Multiple family dwelling units naman. Ay, multiple dwelling units pala. So, sa pangalawang column ka titingin, no? And note lang na for this table, nakadisenyo tong table na to considering that every unit sa building is iisa lang yung ano, yung bedroom. Okay? O, paano sir kung studio type yung ano, yung unit? O, walang bedroom yun, di ba? O, common sense na yan ha, na it will be considered as one bedroom. So, in cases guys na meron tayong units na mas madami naman yung bedroom, so we will then be looking at the continuation ng table na to. So, yung pag-determine ng minimum capacity guys, o ganun pa din ha. So, if for example, meron tayong duplex. Pag sinabi nating duplex, 2-unit residential structure tayo. Okay? So, dito tayo guys, no, sa 2 units. And then, sundan lang natin yung row na yan para makuha natin yung capacity. O, so, ito yan. So, that is 4,542. Okay, guys? O, ganun lang yun ha. Katulad lang din nung sa single family dwellings kanina. So, yung table na to, hanggang 10 na units lang yung nakaspecify. Okay? So, how about if 11 pataas yung units? So, ang mangyari, no, magdadagdag lang tayo ng extra volume ng septic tank for each unit added in excess of 10. Okay? And titingin lang din ulit tayo dun sa continuation ng table para dyan later on. Okay? Next, for the column naman ng DFU. So, itong DFU na to, parang ito lang yung DFU value na nakuha natin pagka nag-design tayo ng DWV system. Okay? So, ano ba yung DFU natin for the entire system? Or to be more precise, ano ba yung DFU ng building drain or building sewer? Kasi nga, that is the entirety of the sewage na papasok sa septic tank, di ba? Yung dumadaan sa building drain or building sewer. Pero may slight change lang ng onte yan sa ginagamit natin for DWV pipe sizing. Ang sabi kasi sa code, no, lahat daw ng water closet shall be rated at 6 DFU when sizing the septic tank. Yun yung sabi So kahit na private yan, which has a DFU of 4, no, gagawin nating 6. Kasi ayun yung sabi ng code. So this is para maging mas conservative yung design natin. Okay? So dito tayo sa sa column na to, no. Ayan yung blue. So you just have to look at the DFU value that is greater than or equal to the DFU value na nakuha mo. Let's say yung DFU value na nakuha mo is 50 DFU. So asan tayo dito, guys? So sa ano ka, 'di ba? Sa may 55. Okay? Kasi ayan na yung pinakamalapit na mas malaki sa 50, no? Then susundan lang natin yung row niyan para makuha yung minimum capacity. So ito yan. So yung 8,516.3. So dito guys, hanggang 100 lang yung DFU natin for this table. Okay? So in excess of 100 DFU, so magdadagdag lang tayo ng volume ng septic tank for each DFU added in excess of 100. So sa ano ulit yan sa continuation ng table. Okay? So ito siya. So for single family dwellings, pag more than 6 yung bedrooms, so tingin tayo dito sa unang row. Okay? So say for example guys, if you have 7 bedrooms, so you will be adding 567.8 liters doon. Okay? You will be adding 567.8 liters dun sa dito sa 5,677.5 liters na capacity. Kasi meron tayong isang extra bedroom, di ba? Pag 8 naman, magdadagdag ka ng dalawang 567.8 liters dun sa 5,677.5. Okay? So that is 2 times 567.8 plus 5,677.5. Okay? So bakit ito yung tinitignan natin? Syempre ayun yung di ba? Ayun yung capacity pagka 6 bedrooms Okay? Kumbaga ayun na yung sinasagad ng table na to. And then pag extra bedroom, tingin na lang tayo sa table sa kung ano yung i-add natin dito, di ba? Okay? So for naman guys, for multiple dwelling units naman, so nag-a-apply pareho dito yung row 1 tsaka row 2, no? So unahin natin yung row 1. So yung extra bedroom, titignan natin yan, no, pagka sige na nga. Sabi 'di ba sa unang part ng table na to, each unit is considered to have only one bedroom each. Ayan, no? So paano kung each unit has multiple bedrooms, 'di ba? So ganito. Let's say for example, we have an apartment na merong 6 units. Ngayon, tatlo sa units na yon, iisa lang yung bedroom. So, dalawa sa units is dalawa yung bedroom, and then merong isang unit na tatlo yung bedroom. O, sana na-gets ha? So, paano natin i-determine yung minimum septic tank capacity that will serve the structure? So, una, tingin muna tayo dito, no? So, dito tayo, di ba, sa 6. Therefore, yung capacity natin, if we have 6 units, tas iisa silang bedroom, no, is 9,462.5. So, ito. Pero, gaya ng sabi ko, hindi naman lahat ng units natin tig-isa yung bedroom, di ba? So, for all units with more than one bedroom, yung ibang bedrooms nila will be considered extra bedroom from the continuation of the table. So, in this case, ilan ba yung extra bedrooms natin? So, bibilangin lang natin, no? Dalawang units, no? Yung merong dalawang bedroom. Okay? Dalawang unit yung merong dalawang bedroom, ha? So, that is 2 extra bedrooms. And then, meron tayong isang unit that has 3 bedrooms. Okay? So, we have another 2 extra bedrooms. So, all in all, guys, 4 yung extra bedrooms natin. So, mag-a-add tayo ng 4 na 567.8 liters. Ayan. 4 na ganito. Dun sa capacity na ibibigay ng 6 units with 1 bedroom each. So, that is 4 times 567.8 liters. And then, i-add natin yan dun sa 9,462.5 na nakuha natin kanina. Okay? So, for more than 10 units naman, yung row 2 lang yung titignan natin, no? So, for example, if we have 11 units, then we will be adding 946.3 liters each. Ayan. Sa 1,000, each 11 units pala, no? Yun yung sabi ko. So, if we have 11 units, then we will be adding 946.3 liters to 1,000, 13,247.5. Okay? O sana, sana nagigets ha. So, if 12 naman, so dalawang 946.3 liters, yung i-add natin sa 13,247.5. Okay? O, that is 2 times 946.3 liters plus etong 13,247.5. Okay? And lastly, no, for the DFU, sa pangatlong row naman tayo titingin. So, for example, if we have 10 DFU in excess of 100, so that is 110 DFU, no? So, we will add 10 times 94.6 liters to 13,247.5. Okay? O, sana naiintindihan na. So, bakit 13,247.5 yung dinadagdag natin? I mean, yung tinitignan natin pagka mas madami kaysa sa sa 10 tsaka sa 100. Kasi syempre ito na yung pinakasagad na binibigay ng table, di ba? Itong 13,247.5. Tapos, syempre, in excess of these values, no? Syempre, maliit na lang dapat yung idadagdag natin. Kasi pagka hindi ganoon yung ginawa, no? Ang mangyayari diyan, mag-overestimate tayo di ba? Kasi pagka tinitingnan natin dito sa capacity natin dito, no? Malaki yung dinadagdag, di ba? Sa bawat pag-iiba, no? So dito sa 1 or 2 bedrooms for example, tsaka yung 3. Pag kinompare natin, medyo malayo na yung agwat, no? Compare dun sa dinadagdag natin pagka meron tayong extra bedroom, di ba? O yan, 567.8. So ito mga almost 900, no? Okay? So how about table 3, guys? Table B3 naman tayo. So sa table B3, no, yung flow rate ng sewage pa lang yung makukuha natin. So ilang litro daw ba ng sewage yung expected na papasok sa septic tank for specific types of occupancy. And for each occupancy type, guys, paiba-iba ng pagkuha yan. Okay? So nakabase yung flow rate natin sa mga to. No? Ayan, tulad nung sa airport. Nakabase yung flow rate ng sewage sa kung ilang employee yung meron at sa kung ilan yung pasahero na nandun. Okay? Yung kumbaga expected na pasahero na papasok everyday, parang gano'n, no? So you just have to know the quantities for this, itong employee tsaka yung passenger count. Okay? O ayan, no? We have also the number of lanes, no? For bowling alleys. Ayan, no? Per lane. O ayan, yung dami ng tao o yung dami ng upuan. Okay? O ganun siya dito, ayan naman sa mga hospitals for example. Ayan, no? Nakabase sa dami ng bed. Okay? O, ganun din sa hotel, no? Per bed din. So, we also have per spaces. Tulad nito. O, naka-per space yung mga yan, guys. Okay? O, we also have here per meal. So, ito yung kung ilan yung nasi-serve nila ang meal in a day. Okay, guys? O, and so on. Okay? Ganun lang yon. So, para makuha natin yung liters per day, guys, para dito, alamin lang natin yung mga quantities na to. Okay? O, tas, ayun yung gagamitin natin para masolve natin yung flow rate. Once na makuha natin yung flow rate ng sewage in liters per day, so we can now determine the minimum septic tank capacity. Okay? O, dito, table B3 pa din yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, if the flow rate, guys, is less than or equal to 5,677.5 liters per day. So, yung capacity natin is just equal to the flow multiplied by 1.5. Okay? Okay, eto siya. Pag naman greater than 5,677.5, yung capacity natin is the flow multiplied by 0.75 plus 1125. Okay? So, yung capacity natin, dependent sa flow rate. Okay? Depende dito. So, nag-iiba yung equation natin, guys, pagka magkaiba yung nag-iiba yung equation na gagamitin natin for different flow rate. Okay? Pero ito yung natin, basis natin, yung 5,677.5 liters per day. Once na makuha natin yung minimum septic tank capacity, we can then determine the volume of each compartment. So note lang, guys, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, we will only be designing 2 compartment septic tanks dito, no? So we have the inlet and outlet or secondary compartments. Ayun lang yun, So to determine the capacity of our compartments, so ito lang yan, no? So for the inlet, no, we just have to multiply the total capacity by 2/3. Note lang, guys, that this is the minimum volume ng compartment natin. So pwedeng mas mataas siya kaysa sa makukuha natin dito. Pero another thing to note, no, dapat di tayo bababa sa 2 cubic meters, For the outlet compartment naman or the secondary compartment, so we just have to multiply the total capacity by 1/3. So dito naman, note lang again that this is the maximum volume ng compartment. So pwedeng mas mababa tayo dito, kaya lang di dapat tayo bababa sa 1 cubic meter. Okay? Pinag-usapan natin yun kanina dun sa sa may code requirements. Once na alam na natin kung ano yung magiging volume natin for each compartment, so we will be designing yung width at yung lengths ng compartments. And syempre dapat i-base natin yan sa planning restrictions such as the allotted space for the septic tank and soil limitations. So dapat dito, in addition sa mga minimum widths and lengths of the septic tank, dapat alam natin yung mga clearances for the septic tank. Pero ito yung yung minimum width tas minimum lengths natin, no? Ayan. So sa outlet compartment, guys, nagkakaroon tayo ng minimum length pagka mas malaki sa 6 cubic meters yung tank capacity natin. Okay? So ito naman para sa vertical dimensions natin. Note lang, guys, yung septic tank capacity na tinutukoy natin is yung effective sewage volume lang. Effective sewage volume lang yan, Okay? Sa septic tank, kailangan meron tayong allowance, di ba? So sa kabuuang volume ng mismong septic tank na, magiging mas malaki siya compare dun sa pinagkukuha natin sa step 2. Okay? Kasi nga, yung nasa step 2, ulitin ko lang, yung effective sewage volume yon. Okay? So when we design, kailangan nating i-consider yung height of sidewall above the liquid depth. So ayun yung parte ng septic tank natin na hindi inaabot ng sewage. Okay? So yun yung allowance. So idadagdag na lang natin yan mamaya dun sa height na kino-consider natin dito. For now, when we are referring to our capacities, yung liquid depth lang muna yung titignan natin. So for now, yung height muna natin dito is the liquid depth. So our range is 0.6 to 1.8 meters. Okay? And then, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, we also have to look at the clearances required by the code para makapag-design tayo based on planning restrictions, So, titingin lang tayo sa table B-1. And, eto yan, okay? So, we just have to look at the column for the septic tanks, Ayan. So, dapat, So, dapat yung guys, yung layo ng septic tank from the building or the structure is 1.5 meters, okay? So eto guys, yung building na sinaserve niya yan, ayun yung ibig sabihin nito, okay? Yun din yung yung layo niya dapat from the property line, okay? And then, eto na yung iba, okay? Tignan niyo na lang, ayun nga sa yung importante dito yung yung sa may structure tsaka yung sa may property line. Eto din, importante din to, yung sa pressure public water main. And usually nasa tapat to ng mga bahay, di ba? Kaya minsan dapat yung mga septic tank hindi natin dapat nilalagay sa sa harap ng bahay, Usually nandun siya sa sa may likod, 'di ba ganun 'yun? Okay? And that is for sanitary purposes. Okay, guys? Ito siya when illustrated, para lang mas magets. Okay? Then, We can now solve for the lengths of our compartments using these equations. Okay? So galing sa ano lang to, equation lang ng volume of a rectangular prism, no? Kasi rectangular prism naman yung ano, di ba? Yung shape ng mga compartments natin. Okay guys? O, tingnan nyo na lang yan ha. Then next, kukunin na natin yung actual height ng septic tank natin. O, this time, considering na yung allowance or yung parte dun sa septic tank na hindi inaabot ng sewage. So we just have to add 228.6 millimeters to our height or the liquid depth, no? And in practice, okay guys, usually pagka in practice, gawin nyo na lang ano yan, 0.3 meters. Okay? For practicality lang. Ano, para mas mapadali lang yung pagsusukat nila pag nag-construct na. So, alam nga naman bigyan mo ng ganyan, di ba? Yung mga ano, obreros mo. Para mas maintindihan natin guys, solve tayo ng problem ha. So, design daw a 2-compartment septic tank for an apartment with 8 units and a total of 78 DFU. So, consider daw the maximum possible width permitted as well as the maximum possible liquid depth. So, mina-maximize natin dito guys yung width and liquid depth, no, para mapaliit natin yung length ng septic tank. Okay? So, step 1, determine the occupancy type. So, sabi kanina guys, apartment daw siya. That is residential, specifically multiple family dwelling. Multiple dwelling units, no? Therefore, we can use table B-2. Okay guys, ito yan. Use table B-2. Step 2, ano yung minimum capacity natin? So we have to consider the fact na apartment to, no, with 8 units and also that we have 78 drainage fixture units. So tingin tayo sa table B-2, no? So we have your apartment with 8 units, 78 DFU. Balikan natin yung table, okay? So punta tayo sa sa multiple dwelling units ito. And then 8 units 'yan. So dito tayo guys, di ba? Tapos sundan lang natin 'yan hanggang dito. So that is 11,355 liters, okay? Pero syempre, i-compare din natin 'yan sa makukuha nating capacity pag sa DFU tayo magbe-base, no? So according to the problem, yung DFU daw is 78. Therefore, titingin tayo sa fixture unit value sa table that is equal to or greater than 78. And that is 80, no? 80 DFU. So dito tayo. Therefore, yung capacity natin is also 11,355. Ganun pa din, no? So 11,355 yung gagamitin nating capacity for the design. Okay, guys? Next step, so solve natin yung capacity ng bawat compartment. For the inlet, no, multiply lang natin by 2/3 yung makukuha nating capacity. So that is 11,355 times 2/3. Therefore, yung capacity ng inlet natin is 7,570 liters. Okay? Tapos convert na natin to in cubic meters, no? Kasi nga, when we design in meters naman yung di ba, yung dimensions natin. Tapos, gawin na lang natin 1 decimal, again, for practical reasons. Okay? We will also do the same for the outlet or the secondary compartment. This time, we multiply 1/3. That is 11,355 times 1/3, no? And that is 3,785 liters. Convert na din natin to into cubic meters. Again, 1 decimal place lang. Next step, we solve for the width considering planning restrictions. So looking at this, no, yung septic tank is positioned dito sa sa part na to ng lot. Okay, ito. And the distance between the property line and the structure is 4 meters. So ito, from here to here, no? And that is 4 meters. Now going back to the clearances set by the code, guys. Yung clear distance daw between the property line and the septic tank is 1.5 meters. Okay? Ayan, di ba? Ayan yung nakalagay kanina sa table B-1, no? And between the septic tank and the structure naman, that is also 1.5 meters. Okay? So from that, no, we can get the width na pwede nating isagad considering these restrictions. So yung width natin, therefore, is just equal to 4 minus 1.5 minus 1.5. Okay? So that is 1 meter. Okay? So ayun na yung magiging width nito. Ito. Okay, guys? Next, let us determine the height or the liquid depth, no? And sabi naman sa problem, maximum daw. So isagad na natin, no? So from the range ng liquid depth, that is 0.6 to 1.8 meters. Ayun yung allowable, di ba? Na sineset ng code. So we will be setting our liquid depth to be 1.8 meters. Okay? After nyan, we can now solve for the lengths of the compartments. First, the inlet, no? So, ito lang yan. So, we have here the capacity of the inlet na 7.6 divided by the width na 1 times the height na 1.8 meters. Okay? So, for our design, we will be considering an inlet compartment length of 4.3 meters. Okay? O, ginawa na natin 1 decimal. O, ganun din for our outlet. So, sa design natin, we will be considering an outlet compartment length of 2.2 meters. Okay, guys? And lastly, our effective height, which is yung pinaka-height na ng septic tank natin, no, including the allowance. So, in here, we will just be adding the height or the liquid depth and the height of the side wall above the liquid depth. Kasi according to code, that is needed daw, no? And according sa code, guys, minimum of 228.6 millimeters daw yung yung height of side wall above the liquid depth. Okay? In our case, I will just be considering 0.3 meters para 1 decimal place, no? Therefore, our effective height is 2.1 meters. Okay? And eto na yung summary ng mga pinaggagawa natin, no? Okay? So yung width natin, that is 1 meter. Ayan sa plan view So pag tinignan natin sa section view, ito yung inlet compartment natin, ito yung outlet compartment. So yung liquid depth natin, that is 1.8 guys. Pero yung total na na height ng septic tank natin, that is 2.1. Kasi nag-add tayo ng dito, 'di ba? Ng 0.3 for the allowance. Ito yung height of the sidewall above the liquid depth. And ito yung yung mga lengths ng compartments natin. So that is 4.3 tapos 2.2. Ito verify nyo na lang kung tama ba yung pinagagawa natin. Nyo na lang, cross-check nyo sa code kung meron tayong na-miss or wala, no? So that is how you design your septic tank, guys, according to the code. Okay? So ayun lang for chapter 4. So thank you for watching. Okay? Bye-bye.